The ultimatum. The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning, transmitted simultaneously to every communications device on Earth. The holographic projection that materialized in the United Earth Council chamber showed a being with crystalline features and multiple arms, each moving with precise, calculated gestures. High executor vowel of the galactic hegemony's voice resonated with artificial translation harmonics. People of Earth, your expansion ends now. Your species has been deemed too aggressive, too unpredictable for unrestricted growth. You will surrender your outer colony worlds and restrict your presence to your home system. Failure to comply within one standard rotation will result in immediate military intervention. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the chamber's observation window, her weathered face reflected in the reinforced glass. 20 years of military service hadn't prepared her for this moment. Below, New Singapore's towering arcologies stretched toward the clouds, their surfaces gleaming with the morning sun. Millions of citizens went about their daily lives, unaware that their world stood on the brink of war. "They're bluffing," General Rodriguez said beside her, his artificial eye whirring as it analyzed the holographic message for the 100th time. "The hegemony doesn't have the resources to patrol every human world." Sarah's expression remained neutral, but her mind raced through calculations. "They don't need to patrol every world, Miguel. They just need to make an example of one." In the chamber behind them, the United Earth Council erupted into chaos. Representatives from every nation and colony argued about appropriate responses, their voices mixing into a cacophony of fear and anger. President Aisha Patel sat silently at the head of the chamber, her dark eyes focused on something distant. What none of them knew, what only a handful of people in the entire human sphere knew, was that this moment had been anticipated. Deep beneath the Martian surface, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Project Prometheus was about to bear fruit. Sarah's secure comlink vibrated. The message was brief. "Aurora is ready." She allowed herself a small smile. The hegemony had made a critical error in their calculations. They assumed humanity had revealed all its technological advances, had shown its full hand during the centuries of careful integration into galactic society. They were wrong. President Patel finally stood, and the chamber fell silent. Her voice carried the weight of generations. "Send our response to the hegemony. Tell them we need 3 days to prepare our surrender documents." The chamber erupted again, this time in outrage, but Sarah noticed the subtle glance the president sent her way. 3 days was exactly what they needed. In the depths of Mars, Dr. Kai Zhang supervised the final calibrations of the Aurora device. The massive ring-shaped structure hummed with exotic particles, its inner surface covered in patterns that seemed to shift and move when viewed directly. This was humanity's secret weapon, the product of decades of reverse engineering crashed alien ships and covert research. "Power levels stable," reported Dr. Elena Martinez, her hands dancing over holographic controls. "Quantum field coherence at 98.9%. Kai nodded, his artificial eyes recording every detail. "Begin the final sequence. Alert all stations." Throughout the solar system, hidden facilities sparked to life. Shipyards concealed in asteroid belts activated their production lines. Defense platforms disguised as communication satellites oriented themselves toward pre-calculated coordinates. Humanity had been preparing for this possibility since they first reached the stars. In low Earth orbit, Sarah boarded her command ship, the TES Defiant. The vessel appeared to be a standard military cruiser from the outside, but its true capabilities were about to be revealed. Her crew worked with practiced efficiency, each member aware that they were making history. "Message from Mars Control," her communications officer reported. "Aurora activation in 15 minutes. Sarah took her place in the command chair, feeling the ship's neural interface connect with her augmented nervous system. "Send to all commands. Operation Prometheus is go." This is not a drill. The hegemony's ultimatum had been calculated to inspire fear, to remind humanity of its place in the galactic hierarchy. Instead, it had triggered the very scenario humanity had been preparing for. As Sarah watched the first waves of ships emerge from their hidden berths, she couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and apprehension. The Prometheus Protocol wasn't just about military response. It was about changing the fundamental rules of engagement. The Aurora device would alter the very nature of spacetime within the solar system, making conventional FTL travel impossible without human-developed compensators. Any hegemony fleet that arrived would find itself trapped, unable to escape or call for reinforcement. In her private quarters, Sarah opened a secure channel to President Patel. "Everything is in position, Madam President. Once we activate Aurora, there's no going back." Patel's holographic form nodded gravely. "The hegemony gave us no choice, Admiral. They expect us to bow our heads and accept their dominion. Let's show them why that was a mistake." As the countdown to Aurora's activation reached its final minutes, Sarah thought about the generations of humans who had worked in secret, preparing for this day. The hegemony saw humans as upstart primitives who needed to be contained. They were about to learn that humanity had grown far beyond their expectations. The Aurora device activated with a pulse that rippled through spacetime itself. Across the solar system, hidden ships and installations revealed themselves, their advanced technology finally unleashed. The trap was set. Now they would wait for the hegemony to spring it. Sarah opened a channel to all human forces. "This is Admiral Chen. The time has come to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of. Stand ready." They wanted to cage us in our home system. Instead, they've walked into ours. Project Aurora. The hegemony's response arrived exactly as predicted. Massive warships tore through the fabric of space at the edge of the solar system, their arrival sending ripples through the carefully laid quantum field of Project Aurora. Admiral Chen watched from the bridge of the TES, defiant as the enemy fleet materialized, their hulls gleaming with living metal that adapted to threats in real time. 117 vessels detected, reported Lieutenant Commander Jay Park, his cybernetic interface streaming data directly to the tactical display. Composition matches our intelligence, mostly Thanari dreadnoughts with Vixketh support craft. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. And now they're trapped in our web. Status of the Aurora field. Operating at full capacity, Dr. Zhang's hologram appeared beside her command chair. The quantum disruption is absolute. Their FTL drives are useless within our sphere of influence. The hegemony fleet arranged itself in a classical attack formation, clearly visible through the Defiant's quantum imaging systems. They were probably wondering why Earth's defense fleet consisted of only a few dozen visible ships, all apparently outdated models. They couldn't see the hundreds of advanced vessels hiding in plain sight, their metamaterial hulls bending light around them like digital ghosts. Deep within the Martian facility, Dr. Elena Martinez monitored the Aurora device's core. The massive quantum ring pulsed with exotic energies, its surface crawling with patterns that defied conventional physics. This was humanity's greatest achievement, technology that could rewrite the local laws of spacetime itself. Field stability at 99.3%, she reported to the facility's eye. Commence Phase 2 initialization. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations began powering up their secondary systems. What the hegemony didn't know was that Aurora wasn't just a trap, it was a weapon. Each pulse from the quantum ring strengthened human technology, while gradually degrading alien systems, like a virus attacking foreign cells. On the Defiance Bridge, Sarah received confirmation that all systems were in place. "Open a channel to the hegemony fleet," she ordered. The communications officer nodded, and soon the imposing figure of High Commander Vixtal appeared on the main screen. The alien's crystalline features shifted in what Sarah had learned was an expression of contempt. "Your response time has expired," Vixtal's translated voice boomed. "Surrender your colonies now, or face extinction." Sarah stood, her augmented eyes meeting the alien commander's gaze. "We have a counter-proposal," she said calmly. "Leave our space now, while you still can." The aliens' laughter was like breaking glass. You dare threaten the might of the hegemony? Your primitive ships are outnumbered and outgunned. We will make an example of your species. Primitive. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Let us show you what primitive looks like. She gave the signal, and Project Aurora entered its final phase. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet decloaked simultaneously. Advanced warships appeared from nowhere, their hulls gleaming with technology that had been developed in secret for decades. The hegemony fleet suddenly found itself surrounded by vessels that shouldn't exist, weapons that defied their understanding of physics. Dr. Zhang's voice came through the command channel. Aurora field is fully charged. All systems are go. Sarah's voice was steady as she gave the order that would change the course of human history. Initiate Aurora Protocol Alpha. Let's show them what humanity has been hiding. The quantum ring on Mars pulsed once, twice, and then released a wave of energy that rippled through space. The effect on the hegemony fleet was immediate. Their living metal hulls began to crystallize, their adaptive systems struggling against laws of physics that suddenly didn't work the way they should. By the founders, Vivkstal's voice had lost its arrogance. What have you done? We've changed the rules, Sarah replied. Your technology relies on principles that we've learned to manipulate. Within this sphere of influence, we decide what works and what doesn't. The human fleet moved with precision, their weapon systems powered by technology that had been refined in secret for generations. Quantum-tipped missiles phased through hegemony shields as if they weren't there. Graviton beams twisted space itself, turning the aliens' advanced armor against them. From her station on Mars, Elena watched the battle unfold through quantum sensors. The Aurora device hummed with power, its influence spreading throughout the solar system like a web of invisible light. This was the culmination of humanity's greatest gamble, the bet that they could develop technology so advanced it would seem like magic to even their most sophisticated opponents. Multiple hegemony vessels attempting emergency FTL jumps, Jay reported, his voice tight with concentration. Their drives are failing. They're trapped. Sarah nodded grimly. As expected, begin Phase 3. Show them exactly what they're dealing with. The battle that followed would be remembered for generations as the moment humanity revealed its true capabilities. The hegemony fleet, for all its supposed superiority, found itself fighting an enemy that had prepared for this exact scenario for decades. Every countermeasure they attempted was met with a technology specifically designed to defeat it. In the Martian facility, Elena and her team worked tirelessly to maintain the Aurora field, knowing that history itself hinged on their success. The quantum ring's energy output reached levels that would have been considered impossible by conventional physics. But that was the point. Humanity had moved beyond conventional physics. As the battle raged on, Sarah couldn't help but reflect on the irony of the situation. The hegemony had sought to contain humanity, to keep them confined and controlled. Instead, they had forced humanity to reveal advances that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Enemy fleet at 60% strength and falling, Jay reported. They're beginning to break formation. Sarah opened a channel to all human ships. Press the advantage. Show them what happens when they threaten our freedom. The next phase of Project Aurora was about to begin, and with it, the future of human-alien relations would change forever. The first strike. High Commander Vivkstal watched in horror as another Thanari dreadnought crumbled under the humans' assault. His fleet, once the pride of the hegemony's military might, was being systematically dismantled by technology that shouldn't exist. The battle had raged for hours, and with each passing moment, the true scope of humanity's deception became clearer. My commander, his second-in-command's voice crackled through damaged communication systems. Our adaptive shields are failing across all frequencies. Their weapons, they're not following normal physical laws. In the command center of the TES Defiant, Admiral Chen orchestrated humanity's response with calculated precision. The Aurora field had transformed the solar system into their perfect battlefield, where centuries of hidden technological development could finally be unleashed. Target their command and control nodes, she ordered, her augmented eyes tracking multiple battle scenarios simultaneously. Don't let them coordinate their responses. Dr. Zhang's voice came through the quantum-encrypted channel. Admiral, the Aurora field is achieving better results than we anticipated. Their technology isn't just failing, it's regressing. The field is actually rewriting the fundamental constants their systems rely on. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just developed countermeasures. They had created technology that could locally alter the laws of physics themselves. The hegemony's supposedly superior technology was worse than useless. It was becoming a liability. Deep within the Martian facility, Elena Martinez monitored the quantum fluctuations with growing excitement. The field harmonics are perfect, she reported to her team. Their crystal matrix computers are losing coherence. They can't even maintain basic computational functions. The battle unfolding across the solar system was unlike anything in recorded history. Human ships, their metamaterial hulls finally revealed, moved with impossible grace. Their weapons fired streams of altered particles that ignored conventional shields. Their targeting systems predicted enemy movements before they happened. Hegemony fleet attempting to regroup near Titan, Lieutenant Commander Park reported. They're trying to establish a defensive perimeter. Sarah's lips curved in a slight smile. Exactly as predicted. Execute Maneuver Prometheus. Across the solar system, hidden weapons platforms activated. Quantum beacons that had been disguised as ordinary satellites revealed their true nature, creating a web of intersecting fields that further distorted spacetime. The hegemony ships found their careful formation twisted and scattered as local space refused to behave properly. Vixtol's flagship shuddered as another barrage of human weapons found their mark. Impossible, he muttered, watching his tactical displays dissolve into chaos. Their level of advancement. They've been playing us for fools. The truth was devastating. While the hegemony had watched humanity's apparent progress with dismissive amusement, humans had been developing technologies that operated on principles the aliens hadn't even theorized. Every engagement revealed new surprises, new capabilities that shattered hegemony assumptions about what was possible. Multiple enemy vessels are attempting to self-destruct, Park reported. They're trying to prevent their technology from falling into our hands. Sarah's response was immediate. Deploy the quantum dampening fields. Don't let them destroy that tech. We've waited centuries to examine their ships up close. The battle had become more than just a military engagement. It was a demonstration of humanity's true capabilities. Each destroyed or captured hegemony vessel sent a clear message to the galaxy. Humanity would not be contained, would not be controlled, and had far surpassed the limitations others had tried to impose on them. In the Martian facility, Elena's team began receiving data from the captured vessels. Their technological base is exactly what we theorized, she reported to Dr. Zhang. They never considered that the quantum framework could be manipulated this way. They built their entire civilization on principles we've learned to rewrite. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just developed better weapons or stronger shields. They had fundamentally altered the playing field. The Aurora field had turned the solar system into a domain where human technology reigned supreme and alien systems faltered. Enemy fleet cohesion is breaking down completely, Park announced. They're starting to surrender, sir. Sarah opened a channel to all ships, human and alien alike. This is Admiral Chen to all hegemony vessels. Your technology has been neutralized. Your FTL capabilities are offline. You have one chance to surrender and preserve the lives of your crews. The response came in waves as ship after ship powered down their weapons. The mighty hegemony fleet, sent to subjugate humanity, instead found itself at humanity's mercy. Vextol's final transmission was thick with defeat. In all our history, we have never. How long have you been preparing for this? Since the day we first looked to the stars, Sarah replied. We knew someday someone would try to contain us. We made sure we'd be ready. As the surrender signals continued to come in, Sarah allowed herself a moment of reflection. The Aurora Project, humanity's greatest secret, had proven more successful than even its designers had hoped. But this was only the beginning. The galaxy would soon learn that humanity had been underestimated for the last time. From his observation post on Titan, Dr. John watched the remnants of the hegemony fleet power down their systems. Phase 3 is complete, he reported to Earth Command. The field is stable, and we've acquired multiple intact enemy vessels for study. The first strike had been delivered, and its message was clear. Humanity was no longer content to play by the galaxy's rules. They had written their own. Counterstrike. The hegemony's response came 3 days after their fleet's surrender. Not with ships this time, but with a weapon that tore a hole in the fabric of space itself. A massive quantum surge erupted at the edge of the solar system, powerful enough to temporarily disrupt the Aurora field. Admiral Chen watched from the Defiance Command Center as new sensor readings poured in. Analysis, she demanded, her augmented eyes struggling to process the scale of the distortion. They've deployed a nexus breaker. Dr. Zhang's hologram flickered with interference. It's more powerful than anything we modeled in our simulations. They're trying to shatter the Aurora field completely. The hegemony had revealed their own hidden weapons, technologies they'd kept in reserve for exactly this kind of situation. The Nexus Breaker was their ultimate weapon, designed to reset space-time to its natural state within its area of effect. Under normal circumstances, it would have worked perfectly. But humanity had planned for this too. Deep beneath the Martian surface, Elena Martinez initiated emergency protocols. The Aurora device's quantum ring began to pulse with new patterns, its exotic energies adapting to the threat. Activating Protocol Omega, she announced to all commands. All personnel, prepare for temporal distortion. The hegemony's second wave arrived through the breach, but these weren't ordinary warships. These vessels were ancient, pulled from hidden arsenals that predated the hegemony itself. Their hulls were made of materials that defied conventional analysis, powered by energies that made the fabric of space scream. 5,000 ships and counting, Lieutenant Commander Park reported, his voice steady despite the implications. They're deploying some kind of temporal weapon. Multiple timelines are beginning to overlap. Sarah's expression remained calm, but her mind raced through contingencies. This was the scenario they'd feared most. The hegemony unleashing their full technological might, regardless of the consequences to spacetime itself. Execute Defense Plan Delta, she ordered. Deploy the chronoanchors. Across the solar system, hidden installations activated. Humanity's own temporal defense grid, developed through decades of secret research, came online. Hundreds of satellites previously disguised as debris revealed their true nature, generating fields that stabilized local time against the hegemony's assault. Dr. Zhang's voice crackled through quantum-encrypted channels. The Aurora field is adapting to their temporal attacks. Our models were correct. Their technology still operates on principles we can manipulate. The battle that followed defied conventional description. The hegemony fleet attacked through multiple timelines simultaneously, their weapons designed to erase their targets from history itself. But humanity's defenses held firm, their technology rooted in understanding that surpassed even the hegemony's ancient knowledge. They're targeting the chronoanchors, Park reported. 3 stations lost in Sector 7. Sarah nodded grimly. Activate the backup grid. Show them why we built redundancy into everything. The loss of the chronoanchors had been anticipated. As they fell, new ones emerged from hidden positions, their fields strengthening the fabric of space-time against the hegemony's assault. Each lost system revealed new aspects of the enemy's capabilities, data that was instantly analyzed and countered. In the Martian facility, Elena watched as the Aurora device adapted to each new threat. The quantum ring's patterns shifted and evolved, its artificial intelligence learning from each attack. The field is holding, she reported. Their temporal weapons are losing coherence. The hegemony fleet pressed their attack with increasing desperation. They deployed weapons that should have unmade reality itself, technologies that violated the most fundamental laws of physics. But at every turn, they found humanity had prepared countermeasures. "Sir," Park's voice carried a note of awe. "The enemy fleet, they're starting to experience temporal feedback. Their own weapons are being turned against them." The Aurora field had done more than just adapt. It had learned to reflect the hegemony's temporal attacks back at their sources. Ships that tried to erase human vessels from history found themselves phasing out of existence instead. Weapons designed to shatter time only fractured their own timelines. "This is impossible." The hegemony commander's transmission cut through the chaos. "Your species, you're barely out of your gravity well. How could you have prepared for this?" Sarah's response was transmitted across all frequencies. "We studied every scrap of technology we could find. We analyzed every hint of advanced physics we discovered. And most importantly, we never showed our full hand. You thought you were containing a primitive species, but you were really giving us time to surpass you." The battle reached its crescendo as the Nexus Breaker itself began to fail. The massive device, pride of the hegemony's technological achievement, found itself caught in the very distortions it was creating. The Aurora field had not just resisted its effects, it had subverted them. "Multiple timeline collapses detected," Park reported. "The enemy fleet is losing temporal coherence across all sectors." The hegemony's mighty armada began to dissolve as their own weapons backfired catastrophically. Ships trapped between timelines phased out of existence. Others found themselves merged with alternate versions of themselves, their crews experiencing multiple realities simultaneously. "Initiate final phase," Sarah ordered. "End this." The Aurora device pulsed one last time, its field expanding to encompass the entire battle zone. In that moment, all timelines synchronized, all temporal weapons neutralized. The hegemony fleet found itself trapped in a single, stable reality, one where humanity's technology reigned supreme. As the dust settled, the scale of humanity's victory became clear. The hegemony's greatest weapons had failed, their supposedly invincible fleet reduced to scattered remnants. But more importantly, they had revealed the full extent of their technology, and found it wanting. "Send word to Earth Command," Sarah instructed. "The counterstrike has failed. Our defenses held. Humanity stands undefeated." The message that would soon spread throughout the galaxy was unmistakable. Humanity hadn't just survived the hegemony's best shot, they had rendered it obsolete. Rise of Terra. The great hall of the galactic hegemony fell silent as Admiral Sarah Chen walked through its crystalline doors. The assembled alien representatives watched with a mixture of fear and awe as a human, for the first time in history, approached the central podium not as a supplicant, but as a victor. 3 weeks had passed since the failed counterstrike against Earth. The hegemony's greatest fleet lay in ruins, their most advanced weapons proven useless against human innovation. Now, the balance of power had shifted irrevocably. "The terms of our new arrangement are simple," Sarah declared, her voice carrying through the vast chamber. "The era of hegemony dominance is over. Humanity will no longer accept the role of a controlled species." Dr. Zhang's hologram materialized beside her, while Dr. Martinez's projection appeared on her other side. Together, they represented the pinnacle of human achievement, the architects of technologies that had rewritten the rules of the universe itself. High Executor Vol, his crystalline form dimmed with defeat, spoke first. "You must understand our position. For millennia, we have guided younger species, protected them from their own rapid advancement. We sought only to prevent chaos." "No." Elena stepped forward, her hologram flickering with barely contained energy. "You sought to prevent competition. You saw our potential and chose to suppress it rather than embrace it. The evidence was irrefutable. The Aurora Project had revealed the truth. The hegemony's technological superiority had been largely illusory, maintained through careful control of information and resources rather than true innovation. Humanity had achieved in centuries what had taken them millennia. "We're not here to supplant you," Sarah continued, her augmented eyes scanning the assembly. We're here to propose a new way forward. The Aurora technology has applications beyond warfare. It could revolutionize travel, communication, even the fundamental way we interact with the universe. The chamber erupted in murmurs as holographic displays activated, showing the potential applications of human technology. The same principles that had defeated the hegemony fleet could be used to create stable wormholes, enhance planetary shields, even terraform hostile worlds. Impossible, a Vithexketh representative hissed. These advances, they violate fundamental laws of physics. No, Dr. John corrected, his hologram displaying complex quantum equations. They transcend your understanding of those laws. We didn't break the universe's rules. We learned to write new ones. From the Martian facility, transmitted across quantum-encrypted channels, came proof after proof. Humanity hadn't just developed better weapons, they had achieved a fundamental breakthrough in understanding the nature of reality itself. The Aurora field was just the beginning. We offer partnership, Sarah announced, not subjugation. Humanity remembers what it means to be held back, to be told we're not ready. We won't do the same to others. The proposal was revolutionary, open sharing of human technology, but with safeguards to prevent its misuse. The Aurora network would be expanded, creating stable zones where advanced technology could be safely tested and implemented. Earth would become not a subject world, but a center of innovation and progress. And if we refuse? Vol asked, though his tone suggested he already knew the answer. Sarah's expression remained neutral. The same technology that defended our solar system can be deployed anywhere. We don't seek conflict, but we will not allow the suppression of progress, ours or any other species. The threat was clear, but so was the opportunity. Human technology had proven itself superior not through brute force, but through innovation and understanding. The Aurora field could either be a shield or a sword, depending on how the galaxy chose to respond. In the weeks that followed, the transformation was remarkable. The hegemony, faced with undeniable proof of human advancement, began to adapt. Ancient restrictions on technology sharing were lifted. Young species were given access to knowledge long hidden from them. The galaxies started to change. On Mars, Elena and her team continued their work, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. The Aurora device evolved, its applications extending far beyond military use. Human understanding of the universe deepened with each new discovery. We've received requests for technological cooperation from 15 former hegemony worlds, Park reported to Admiral Chen aboard the Defiant. They're especially interested in the civilian applications of the quantum field technology. Sarah nodded, watching Earth's glow through the ship's quantum viewport. Approve them all, but maintain the safety protocols. We'll help them advance, but responsibly. The rise of humanity marked not just a shift in galactic power, but a fundamental change in how species interacted with each other. The old model of suppression and control gave way to one of cooperation and shared advancement. Dr. Zhang, working from his new position as head of the Interstellar Scientific Coalition, often reflected on the irony. They tried to cage us, he told his colleagues, but in doing so, they'd forced us to break free not just from their constraints, but from the constraints of physics itself. The Aurora network expanded throughout known space, creating stable zones where advanced technology could operate safely. Earth became a beacon of progress, attracting scholars and scientists from across the galaxy. The species that had once been dismissed as primitive now led the way into a new era of discovery. Sarah stood at the observation deck of the new Terran Space Academy, watching ships from 100 worlds dock at the orbital station. Among them were vessels carrying the next generation of students, human and alien alike, eager to learn the principles that had revolutionized their understanding of the universe. "We did it," Elena said, joining her at the window. "We proved them wrong about us." "No," Sarah corrected with a smile. "We proved them wrong about everyone." The galaxy was ready for change. It just needed someone to show the way. The age of suppression was over. The rise of Terra marked the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history, one where progress was not feared but embraced, where innovation was not contained but encouraged. Humanity had not just secured its place among the stars, it had transformed the very nature of interstellar civilization. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the aurora field continued to pulse, a testament to human ingenuity and a promise of wonders yet to come.